In 2026, millions of pages of documents known as the Epstein files were released to the public. Among the names that shocked the world was one that appeared over and over again in flight logs, legal filings, and even emails. Nadia Marcinkova. Today, we explore her full timeline, her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and what the evidence shows about what she did, what was said in emails, and why her story remains one of the most controversial parts of the Epstein saga. Nadia Marcinkova was born as Nadia Marcinkova in Košice, which was part of Czechoslovakia at the time, came into Epstein's orbit at a young age. She arrived in the United States around 2000 or 2001, when she was about 15 years old, and became part of his inner circle shortly thereafter. From 1999 into the early 2000s, Nadia appears on at least 140 documented flights on Epstein's private jets, including the infamous Lolita Express, traveling between Palm Beach, New York, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. These flight logs show her repeatedly alongside Epstein and others in his network, indicating she was much more than a casual acquaintance. In 2008, when Epstein struck a controversial plea deal in Florida, Nadia was named as one of the unindicted co-conspirators, meaning she was identified as part of the network, but was granted immunity and never charged. Reports also say she visited Epstein in jail at least 60 times during his confinement. Fast forward to 2010. In a deposition tied to a civil case, Marcinkova was asked about her involvement. According to unsealed documents, she invoked her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination dozens of times when questioned about Epstein, others in his circle, and activities he was accused of. No criminal charges followed, but the repeated invocation only deepened speculation. After years in Epstein's circle, Nadia trained as a pilot. She earned a commercial license and became a flight instructor. Around 2012 to 2013, she founded Avaloop, an aviation branding and consulting company. Flight manifest data shows her listed as a pilot on some of Epstein's aircraft, evidence that she was actively flying, not just traveling. The Epstein files also contain email correspondence between Nadia and Epstein. One email shows her writing, "It's me. You were the one person I could trust since I was 18. I made decisions about my future and security based on your assurances." In other emails, she is referenced discussing people she met and their skills, showing the personal and logistical nature of her communications with Epstein. Many victims' statements and police documents describe Marcinkova as someone who helped recruit young women for Epstein and participated in abuse. These are allegations she has never publicly answered in detail, and her attorneys have denied, calling her a victim as well. Even though she was named a co-conspirator in 2008, prosecutors never charged her, a fact that remains controversial among legal analysts and survivors. When Epstein was arrested in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges and later died in custody, questions about his network surged, and Marcinkova's name appeared repeatedly in civil court documents, depositions, and flight manifests. Despite accusations in the files, she faced no charges. In January 2024, a New York court began unsealing hundreds of Epstein-related documents, thrusting Marcinkova back into the spotlight. Around that time, reports emerged suggesting she was no longer seen at her known residences, and her current whereabouts became unknown to the media. So who was Nadia Marcinkova? A Slovak-born woman brought into Epstein's orbit as a teenager, named in flight logs and documents as part of his inner circle, given immunity as part of Epstein's earlier legal deal in 2008, a commercial pilot with her own company and frequent traveler on Epstein's aircraft, someone whose own emails with Epstein reveal a personal and sometimes emotional connection, and a figure whose current status remains unknown or unconfirmed in public records. Whether you see her as a victim, an accomplice, or something in between, her role in the Epstein network is one of the most documented, yet still least fully understood, aspects of this story. Thanks for listening.